it's connected. How wise the story is and how connected it is to Purim. So the name of the story is Where the Wildlings Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. Getting ready. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. Not even a slice of pizza. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. So Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." You guys want to act this out? We have room right here. Come on.
It'll be a wild thing.
See, it's time for the wild rumpus. Okay. And they're dancing, dancing, dancing. Our granddaughter says, "Conga line." Okay. Hanging on the trees. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go, we'll eat you up, we love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him, and it was still hot. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so wait, that's it? That's not all, that's not all. So let's think about this story more deeply, and what it has to do with Purim. First of all, this story is called Where the Wild Things Are. So it's describing a place, right? A makom, a place. The place where the wild things are, that place. And why is makom so important in the Megillah? The place is important because the place tells us that Hashem will help us. Even when we think, Mordechai says to Esther, if you don't go to the king, help will come mimakom acher, from another place. In other words, from Hashem. So now the boy, the hero of the story, what is his name? Now the question is, what is his Hebrew name?
Definitely Mordechai for sure.
Wait, so let me read you from a Moel, Rabbi Pesach Kron. He says from his website, brisquest.com, choosing a name.html. It is easier for the child if his Hebrew and English names are phonetically related. They have letters in common. It would be difficult for a boy named Max to remember his Hebrew name if it were Yaakov, Ezra, or Abraham. Suitable Hebrew names for Max would be Moshe, Meir,
Or
Mordechai. It's right there. So Max's name is really
Mordechai.
Mordechai. Max is Mordechai. Rabbi Cohen told us that. Okay, so now, now, what kind of suit does Max put on? Yes. What kind of? A wolf suit. How do you say wolf in Hebrew?
Zabe.
Ze'ev. So what tribe does Mordechai come from? Okay, so this is what the Torah says. So Yaakov Peter said, Binyamin Ze'ev Yitro. Okay, Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. Mordechai is a wolf.
And he's hungry.
In the morning he consumes the food, and in the evening he divides the spoil. So, and don't take my word for it, but listen to what Rashi says. So Rashi says, okay, so Rashi says, in the morning they divide the spoil. This is Mordechai and Esther, who will be of the tribe of Benjamin, and will divide the spoil of Haman, as it says, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman. So you can tell that Max is Mordechai, and it's so appropriate that he's wearing the wolf suit, because he's going to defeat Haman. That's why he's wearing the wolf suit. Now you'll notice in his room something weird happens. What happens to his room? It turns into a fire. Now look very closely. What this is so deep. It's just amazing. It took me a while to figure this out. Okay. So okay. Now his room has different stuff in it, right? Look at this. It has. Let's leave aside the plant. Everything else is it alive? Okay. Is anything alive in here except for Max? Is anything alive here?
No.
No. Right. This is called domain. Domain. These are things that are not alive. Now look what happens to his room. It begins to turn into plants. That's called somea. And then, now, are there any animals in this room yet? There are no animals. It's just all plants. We went from domain to somea, the things that grow, and then finally we get to weird animals. We get to weird animals. So how do you say wild things, by the way, in Yiddish?
Wilde Chayes.
Wilde Chayes. This is the place of the Wilde Chayes. Sometimes parents call their children Wilde Chayes. Okay. Sometimes children are Wilde Chayes. Okay. Wild things, wild animals. So, and finally, Max is able to speak. Be still. Be still. Right, so this is about creation. This is about the creation of the world. We're seeing Hashem, the world is being created, step by step. Okay. So this story is really a creation story. Now who do we know who went in a boat to go far away?
Yonah.
Yes, the animals. Yonah. Yonah saw a boat, and also, I mean, if you're interested in studying this further, there's a long passage in Baba Basra. Noah went in a boat, Max went into a boat. Sometimes you have to go into a boat to solve problems. Sometimes going into a boat means you're running away from problems, you're not facing the problems, and sometimes you have to go into the boat in order to be able, at the end, to solve the problem, which seems to be what happens to Max. Okay, so, Okay, and by the way, he goes on a voyage over night and days and weeks. Did you see that? He went over day and night. So it tells us in the Megillah, that Achashverosh had a problem. And whenever he had a big problem, he consulted with people who were called Yodei Ha'itim, people who knew time. Who are people who knew time? The Gemara says, Rabbanan, the rabbis, and Max knows time because he's Mordechai, so he's in the Sanhedrin. Okay, he sees a sea creature. I won't tell you all the details, but there's a long passage of stories of Rabbi Bar Bachana in the Gemara in Baba Basra, and one of them describes a creature, and I don't know if Maurice Sendak knew that Gemara, but listen to this amazing description, and then see what. Okay, look at this weird thing that's living in the sea. What kind of features does this have?
It has a beard.
It has a beard.
Horns.
It has horns.
It has a hairdo.
It has hair.
It looks like a dragon.
It's like a dragon that's in the sea.
Water dragon.
So listen to this. Rav Suffer told us, once we were traveling on a ship, and we saw a certain fish that took its head out of the sea, and it had horns.
Whoa.
And the following was inscribed on the horns: I am a lowly creature of the sea, and I am 300 parsas long, and I'm going into the mouth of Livyasan. Rav Ashi said, that is the goat of the sea, which searches through the sea and has horns.
Wow.
It looks like the Loch Ness.
Right. Now, when Max sees all the animals and he's able to scare them all, he becomes king.
No.
Does Mordechai become king?
No.
Think carefully about this.
Yeah.
And what he does, how? There's one place where he's wearing,
Well, two places.
I know.
yes?
When he was riding the horse.
He's riding the king's horse, and he's dressed up in all those amazing clothes. He's like a king.
Also, at the end, he's wearing royal clothing.
Yes, and he's also...
he was the king of Haman's house also.
He was the king of Ammon's house. So it's so appropriate that Max is the king of all wild things. Now, also, the fact is actually a little complex because I think that in this story, this part of the story, actually Max is representing Achashverosh. It gets very complicated. So the Gemara says about Achashverosh that he showed off all the stuff that he owned, and it says in the Megillah that he showed off V'har Oso es Osher Kavod Malchuso. He showed all the glory and the wealth of his house. Rabbi Levi said he showed the clothing of the Kohen Gadol. And I think that some of these wild things are actually wearing different begadim of the Kohen Gadol.
I don't
But it
think.
requires further investigation to know that for sure. Okay. And so one thing else I noticed about the story, which was so amazing. I mean, really, how long does it take for all the things to happen in reality?
No time.
And we're in the
No
middle
time.
of this story.
In the story. Look at the moon here. Look at the moon.
It's crescent.
It's a crescent moon. Now wait, look what else. And look at the beginning. Wait, look at the beginning of the story. When Max gets sent to his room, I don't know if people notice this. Look at the moon. It's not a whole moon, it's like a crescent moon. But look what happens later in the story. Look at this.
It's full moon. Well, that's because they have a rumpus.
Wow.
It's no doubt. Rumpus without some.
What the wild rumpus
Okay, it's
starts.
a full moon because it's the middle of the month. It's Yud Dalet. It's Purim Day.
Oh, it's Purim.
And also the full moon is if you look closely at Kiddush Levana, which we're not going to do here, but the filling of the moon is a sign of the coming of Geulah.
That's what we might come.
Right.
Also, it could be that the beginning moon was the 12th, which is the first day.
Well, the fact is that the crescent moon is the waning moon, which is really hard to explain. This is when the moon gets smaller and smaller, and you lose hope. This is huge, and then Tikva and hope. And when he goes back to his room, it's a full moon. Everything is turned around.
We'll go outside and see.
Right. Now, he goes back to his house. What does that mean? Going back to the bias. What does that mean?
Rebuilding the base of Mikdash.
The base of Mikdash. This is really about going back home, but also the rebuilding the base of Mikdash, which is the.
Palm trees remind me of Israel.
Thank you. So thank you so much for the chance to get to know the story better.